I'm April. Let's talk about books. This is my first video for Booktube. I'm really excited to be part of a community of book lovers and readers. I decided to start with Booktubeathon 2017 to make my own videos because I got so excited looking at other people's videos for their TBRs, and I just wanted to make one myself. So let's get into the challenges. The first challenge is to read a book with a person on the cover. For this particular challenge, I chose the book Come On Shore and We Will Kill You and Eat You All. This is by Christina Thompson. She is a woman who married a man from New Zealand who is of Maori descent, and in addition to telling their story about how they met and married, she also talks about how New Zealand treats its Aboriginal people. Also, this title, you guys, come on. The second challenge is to read a hyped book. For this one, I'm going to read Roxane Gay's newest book called Hunger. I listened to an interview that she did with Terry Gross on Fresh Air on NPR, and this book sounds like it's going to be heartbreaking and painful, and it comes with 1,000 trigger warnings, but I think that in the end it will be worth it. I really like the way that Roxane Gay writes. I like the way that she thinks about the world and the way that she observes various everyday occurrences, so I'm really looking forward to reading this book. The third challenge is to read a book in one day. For this challenge, I've chosen the book Mrs. Harris Goes to Parliament by Paul Gallico. This is the third in a series following Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris and Mrs. Harris Goes to New York. And I found both of those so charming and so delightful, and I did finish both of those in one day, and so I don't think that I'll have any problem reading this in one day either. In this particular book, I think Mrs. Harris goes to her member of parliament to make a complaint, and he sort of jokingly suggests that she should run for parliament herself, and given that she had such astounding good luck in the first two books, I think that everything's going to wind up okay for Mrs. Harris in this book as well. The next challenge is to read a book about a character who's very different from you. And I'm actually reading another memoir, so it's not a character, but a real person. And this book is called Lakota Woman, and it's by Mary Crowdog. And this is about a Native American woman in the 20th century who grows up on a South Dakota reservation. And that is far outside of my experience. However, my mom is part of the Lakota tribe, and she grew up on a reservation, although she doesn't really talk about it, and she wasn't really raised in the Native American tradition. And so I'm interested in seeing how Mary Crowdog's experiences paralleled my mom's. In this book, she talks about how she grew up and married a man who was a medicine man, and evidently he started doing some ceremonies that had been forbidden, I guess, by the US government, and so I'm really interested to see how that turns out as well. The next challenge is to read a book that you bought for the cover, and I don't really do that. However, I can appreciate a good cover, and so looking through my library books, I found the book The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fistfight in Heaven by Sherman Alexie, yet another book about a First Nations group. In this book, he writes a short story collection. There are 24 stories, and it is about people who live on the Spokane Indian Reservation. I've read some of Sherman Alexie's books that he's written for young adults, and so this one I think was an award winner, and I'm interested to see how it kind of transitions for adults. Once again, I am also looking forward to seeing how this goes along with what my mom experienced growing up on a reservation. She didn't grow up in South Dakota, but she did grow up in the Pacific Northwest, so this may be a little bit closer to her experience. And the next challenge is to read a book entirely outdoors. I live in Tennessee, guys, and reading outdoors is not really something like our weathermen tell us to stay inside, like as a matter of course. They say, please don't go outside unless you have to. However, I do walk outside in the mornings, and so I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and the one that I've chosen is David Sedaris' newest release, which is called Theft by Finding. It is his diaries from 1977 through 2002. I have read some of Sedaris' works before, and I've also gone and seen him read in person. He did read some things from his diary at that particular performance, and so I'm looking really forward to listening to him because I do like to listen to audiobooks when they're read by the author. And he has this wacky sense of humor that I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to listening to that one. And the final challenge is to read 7 books. So for the 7th book, I have chosen a Persephone book, and it's called Miss Ranskill Comes Home, and it's by Barbara Ufan Todd. And this book is about a woman who was blown overboard in 1943, and she returns to England in 1946 after the war. However, since she lost those 3 years, and since so much changed in England during that time, which was, you know, during the war and then just after the war, she doesn't really understand culturally the things that she's missed, and it seems like her friends and neighbors aren't really interested in bringing her up to date on that stuff. And the thing that really sold me as I was reading the blurb was this phrase where it says it's about people behaving heroically and appallingly. So that sounds really fun. So that is my TBR for Booktubeathon 2017. Thank you so much to everybody else whose videos I've watched. I'm really looking forward to joining the Booktube community this week and beyond. So goodbyes are really awkward and uncomfortable, so end of video.